Many of you probably think of politicians as being somewhat like thieves on a daily basis, but what about the thieves who target those politicians? It's a crazy story, and we're very lucky to be joined now to break it down by the editor-in-chief of Raw Story, Dave Leventhal. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, good to be back, John.
Great to have you here, and congratulations on the new position. It's obviously well-earned. You've done amazing work for years. We've talked about a lot of it here, so congratulations.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
So let's dive into one of these stories. Thieves targeting multiple campaigns, multiple PACs. What are we talking about here?
We found evidence just in the past few weeks of half a dozen different Republican congressional candidates who, to one extent or another, have been hit by thieves, either cyber thieves or people who have stolen checks. The bottom line is that it's sort of like Willie Sutton, remember the old bank robber who was asked at one time, well, why do you rob banks? He said, well, that's where the money's at. This is sort of a very distinct 2023 political analogy for that old saying, because the money is in the accounts of political candidates who sometimes are raising millions, even tens of millions of dollars, John, every election cycle after cycle. And if they pop up quickly, they have staff that comes and goes. Security sometimes is not the first, second, or 27th thing that they're thinking about as they try to win re-election or try to get elected. So some things have slipped through the cracks, and that's very evident by the fact that you have, for example, Senator Jerry Moran, we found out lost $690,000 from his campaign account last year at the hands of cyber thieves. And that's just one of a number of different examples all across the board of politicians, political committees, party committees, political action committees of companies like Google and others who have just lost money because they couldn't keep it in their account because they didn't necessarily have all the proper security protocols in place.
Wow, okay, that is a lot of money, obviously. When you say that it's been stolen, though, do we have any idea of the nature of the theft? I mean, you alluded to cyber crimes. Are these just staffers falling for phishing, or do we think that maybe some of these campaigns, you talked about institutional turnover of staff, is it possible they're being infiltrated? Do we have any idea how these crimes are happening? And is it a wave of maybe the same thieves doing it, or do you think that this is just multiple independent operators?
Yeah, well, that's a big question that we're looking into right now. It does seem like there's a variety of different techniques that are actually being put into place and utilized to steal this money. You mentioned a couple, I'll add a few to the list. For example, there have been fraudulent invoices that have been sent to the campaigns. The invoices get paid, but then the money goes to some thief who is fraudulently invoicing the campaign, and the campaign didn't pick up on it until it was too late. Sometimes it's a little bit more old school, where a check gets written to a different vendor, and the check goes through the mail, and it gets intercepted along the way. So it really depends. A lot of times in our conversations with the campaigns that we've talked to, they've said, well, look, this is not an inside job. This is definitely external. We alerted authorities, we told the police, and the FBI, John, is investigating many of these. The campaigns have confirmed to us. So this is not a matter that is being taken lightly by federal authorities. They are looking into it. And you don't want to blame the victim here, but definitely there are government agencies, including the Department of Homeland Security, the Federal Election Commission, that have come out with warnings and best practices and tip sheets saying, hey guys, this is a problem. You are going to get targeted. Here are lots of different things that you can do to try to defend against this, so you're not having a news story written about you that you just had $500,000 taken out of your account.
That's probably not why you'd want to be in the news necessarily. I do think, though, falling for those fake invoices is why Donald Trump is so wise. He never pays any of his bills and therefore cannot be robbed in that particular way. Also, you said that some of this has happened just in the past few weeks. Does George Santos have an alibi? Because he's a slippery little figure. But anyway, I did want to ask you about one other little thing that you dropped, which is that these appear to all be targeting Republicans. Is that, I know that we don't know for sure. Does it appear to be at random, or would there be any reason to specifically target Republicans? Like Democrats raise tons of money too.
Well, it's difficult to say. I talked to a couple of security experts who their companies, they lead companies that specifically work in the cybersecurity realm, and they said, hey, we're actually surprised that more politicians have not been hit, that political operatives who are trying to operate in a really devious and almost illegal kind of way, ostensibly, aren't using this more. So, hey, we have no evidence to suggest that this is Russian infiltration or wherever your imagination might lead you to. This may just simply be common petty criminal type activity, but it definitely leaves the door open to other types of activity. I should note that no, Republicans are not the only ones who have been getting hit, even though the most recent examples that we have found have come from the right. Joe Biden's 2020 campaign, presidential campaign, lost $70,000. Kind of a drop in the bucket, given that he raised upwards of $1 billion, but nevertheless, still was a target too. Tulsi Gabbard and others that we found who have also fallen victim to this type of cyber criminal activity.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.